I work with my clients to say, okay, this person, this is not a customer, but do they know my customer? Will they be a resource to my customer? Can they introduce me to new customers? Can they introduce me to new collaborators? Every person
they just support me.
Right. There's so many ways the person in front of you can bring value and benefit, but most people are so focused on the hunt and kill. And or as one of my coaching friends would say, shoot the bodies and move on, shoot the wounded and move on.
Right.
That they miss these foundational things that should make things easier down the road.
Hi, I'm Erin Marcus, former corporate executive turned entrepreneur and founder and CEO of Conquer Your Business. Welcome to the Ready Yet podcast. We're excited to bring you more than 100 episodes of interviews and insights designed to help entrepreneurs get the financial and emotional freedom they need in order to build a business and a life they're proud of.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Ready Yet podcast, where I am here today with my guest, Wendy Caverly. Did I do it right? I always ask them and then I do it wrong. But I'm excited about today's conversation. We are so in alignment on things. There's so much good information that you have to share. Before we get all up in it, why don't you tell people a little formally who you are, what you do, all the cool things.
All right. Well, how about I do a little 30-second self-introduction? My name is Wendy Caverly. I am the coach and founder of Crusader Networking. And you know how excited people are when they join chambers of commerce or referral teams or associations, because they just can't wait to get new clients, start new opportunities, find new referral partners, and then they get into it and they realize they actually don't really know how to get those results that they joined to get. That's what Crusaders Networking is. It is about the strategy and the skill to get lasting results with the activities that you've already committed to. I'm Wendy Caverly, and I'm here to help.
Ta-da! Love it. Like, so a little quick, my background on networking. I've built 2 different businesses myself to multiple 6 figures in just over, I think, 18 months in each case, with networking as my primary networking as my primary tool. So I'm a big fan. I also love meeting people, hearing their stories, hearing what they do. Personally, I think the key to networking effectively is being as excited as you can be to get someone else a client as you are to get your own. So, but let's back it up a little bit. Like, all right. There's all sorts of people out there who do coaching. There's all sorts of people out there who run networking events. And I will 100,000,000% agree that people don't really, they think they know, or they'll say they don't know how to network. So how did you get into this niche? Because I think it's so needed and so brilliant, and I love your approach to it.
Yeah. Well, so how did you know? And I'm actually not a fan of the word networking because it is so misperceived. Everyone thinks they know what it is. Everybody thinks that they know how to do it. But the reality is networking is an activity. The goal is connection. And that's a whole different kind of skill set. Networking is often muddled with like a captured cold calling situation. I went to an event.
I love that. Captured cold calling.
Captured cold calling.
Fantastic.
Yes. I mean, I actually met a gentleman about 6 months ago that he's like, I'm all about networking. I attend 5 events a day. And I'm like, that's not networking. That's captured cold calling. Instead of knocking on doors, you're tossing out business cards. But to your question, how did I get into this? I've actually been a meeting facilitator for a business group for just under a decade now. And come 2020, just like everyone else, we got knocked into an online space. Yes. And I took it really seriously that my goal, my role as their professional connector, their facilitator, was to keep them motivated, positive, and looking forward. That my personal goal was none of my clients were going to go out of business because of this crisis.
So no, just a minor undertaking, right?
Just a minor undertaking, right? Because that's how I roll. I mean, really, honestly, if I knew,
go big or go home, right?
Right. If I knew how big some of the stuff I want to do was, I probably wouldn't do it.
Oh my God, right? I say that all the time. Thank God I don't know what I don't know, because I probably wouldn't do it.
Right. So for them, it was all about, we're making plans. Your competition is waiting for permission. We're making plans.
Yes.
So when the lights come back on, you are in motion, right? And this is why you build network. This is why you have connections. You have those people that you can call upon. And so many of, not us, but, extended business community, that's when you started getting those, we want you to know in these difficult times, we're here for you. And I'm like, I haven't heard from you in 3 years.
That's like, I get calls all the time from people who they don't, and this is a little judgy, but here we go. They'll call me and they'll say, let me just run something by you. And I'm like, well, that's kind of out of integrity with my clients who pay me to get this advice. No, I just want to chat as a friend. I'm like, as a friend, you haven't called me to say hi in the entire time I've known you.
Yes. I mean,
Right?
and there's something to be said about a sincere connection that never
Totally.
goes out of style, but that's not what these were.
That's not what we're talking about. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And in some of my network said, Wendy, you have such a strong, positive message. People need to hear it. You need to be out there. So I started making videos for LinkedIn, for YouTube. And, my very first one was fear in business. And, fear is powerful. It's a powerful motivator. And then I finally made this one about how to farm your business for success. And I used my own vegetable garden as an example. And I talked about how I didn't just throw this seed on the ground and walked away. I cultivated it. I nurtured it. I gave it what it needed. And now I have this bountiful harvest. And a gentleman saw that video and thought I was a sales trainer. So he set up a call with me because they were looking for resources that they could give to their sales force, which had a 65% hit that year because they were a print and promotional company. So no expos, no fairs, no festivals, no golf out, none of that. And that was when I realized that what I've been doing organically for nearly a decade is not default, that when things are easy, people don't take that extra 3 minutes to add that layer of connection. They just kind of go, not you. All right. How about you? Not you.
So I want to stop and pause for 1 second because one of the things you said, and this applies way, way, way beyond networking and connecting to business in general. And one of the things that you just described is when you realize what your genius zone is, it's easy, right? Like when you are working in your genius zone, the further you're in it, the more you feel like, how come everybody doesn't just know this? Because it's so obvious to you. And how amazingly valuable your genius zone, and I'm saying this to you, Wendy, but this is everybody, how amazingly valuable your genius zone is to people who don't operate within the same genius zone. And we, as business owners, we think, well, that was easy for me, so it should be cheap, right? Like if it's not hard, it's not hard, how could I possibly charge reasonably good money for it? But the truth is, kind of like what you really discovered, your genius zone is automatic. Like, this is where I shine because this is what my body and my mind just know how to do it.
I love it. I mean, I've actually described it as my drug of choice.
Sugar is my drug of choice. I don't know. Sugar is my drug of choice, but yes.
But when I can make an introduction between two people,
I love it.
And that makes me want to do it again. And
but it also just to even occur to you to do it, and not in a bad judgy way, it just doesn't occur to some people to do that.
I know. I mean, but I want before we drift, because I can tell we're going to drift. I love what you said because when it is something easy or natural, or you can see it and you have a helper's heart, like I want to help you. I want you to be successful. We do tend to undervalue what we bring to the table, and we feel bad. And I know I work on that myself as well.
Right. Yeah. No, but I love the way you just described, like, of course, this is what you do.
Right. Did people not realize that this was a necessary part for a long-term results? Apparently
not.
But yet there's so many books written about it. It's not a new concept.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to say that I created this wheel, but I didn't. I just redefined it for, new people to see it. Yes. And also, like I said, that dismiss thing, I work with my clients to say, okay, this person, this is not a customer, but do they know my customer? Will they be a resource to my customer? Can they introduce me to new customers? Can they introduce me to new collaborators? Every person
They just support me.
Right. There's so many ways the person in front of you can bring value and benefit, but most people are so focused on the hunt and kill, and or as one of my coaching friends would say, shoot the bodies and move on, shoot the wounded and move on.
Right.
That they miss these foundational things that should make things easier down the road.
And truthfully, and I know a lot of great male connectors, but I think some of this has been just in the evolution of relationship building versus transactional sales.
Right.
Because when I got into business development in the late 80s and early 90s, not a thing, right? Like little teeny bit of networking and relationship building.
Right.
But prospecting and cold calling, prospecting.
Right. Oh, good. Every no is one step closer to a yes.
And there's some truth to that. But to me, there's some truth to, like, what I tell people is you don't want to be scared of that. Because that pendulum can swing so far the other way that you're scared to ever initiate a conversation about, well, that is kind of what I do. Do you want to hear more about that?
Right. Or take that swing or put that out there. Yeah.
But if that's the only way you're operating, I had a similar experience to you where I had a gentleman that I went out to lunch with, and I had if it was a date, it was a perfectly reasonable time. And he told me he had 5 one-to-one appointments per day. And this was back in the day when we were meeting in person.
Right.
And
that is his day.
That's his entire day. And I'm thinking, and he's going on and on and on about how many new people he's meeting. I'm like, all right. And all that happened was we kind of had a fun time because he was he was a lot of fun. And then I ended up on a list, and his assistant used to send me newsletters.
Right.
Like, I couldn't tell you what he does.
Right.
How could I refer him business? The only impact he made on my, impression he made on me was exhaustion. Right.
That's interesting, because that goes back to busy versus productive. You feel like you're doing a lot, so you feel like you're making progress, but your bank account or your calendar doesn't reflect that. And then the other half of that too is I do frequently talk with people about more on your calendar doesn't mean more opportunity. If you do not give yourself the time to explore and develop the opportunities you have begun, why would you go to another event and collect even more?
And collect even more of them. I call it, you have to have that balance between audience growth and audience nurture.
Right.
Some people go to the nurture side way too far, right? They go to one networking group, they build their comfort zone, they meet the same 30 people every month, and maybe the group is one new person. This is way too far on the nurture side. You need, you outfish your pond.
Because that all plays so well into, I know it's on our agenda, but the landscapes.
So let's get into this, because I love it, because you have a way. So for my listeners who already know this, I'm a big personality profiler junkie. I learned about them when I was in college by an criminal justice instructor who used to be the psychiatrist at Sing Sing. He gave us all he gave us all the tests that you give the prisoners to try to put them in the least violent groups possible.
Yes.
And then he gave them to us, and we realized we're only one answer away from being a sociopath, and you get real non-judgmental after realizing that. Really? So if I would have said this instead of that, I could be in your, your violent pod or whatever it was. But the thing that I don't like about so many of them is you have to learn an entirely new vocabulary in order to apply them beyond the motivational minute you spend reading your report.
Right. Yes. No, there, because then you start wondering, well, what did they mean by that word? What does that word mean in this context, in this industry, in this? No, and I love the English language. Words can be very precise.
Words matter.
They can be very informative. But I also didn't want anyone going through this assessment and going, I'm not sure what that meant. I want them to be more challenged by trying to figure out which one is more them. And that you took it. And that's one of the reasons it literally says, just go with your instinct. Just go with your instincts. And it is hard because you got
to be honest with yourself.
And you are right. And
you got to be honest.
You read them and you go, I'm all 4 of those, but in what order? Right. So because even I've even done my own and I found it incredibly insightful. I did my own assessment and I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Ready Yet podcast brought to you by Conquer Your Business. With decades of experience, Conquer Your Business creates business and branding strategies that build multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses. And we don't just show you what to do. We have an entire team of people available to help you do it, strategy and implementation. You can learn more and reach out to us by visiting conqueryourbusiness.com.
So tell us more. So what is the assessment for?
Okay, the assessment is actually, I call it the landscapes assessment because I do translate the 4 objectives or needs that all professionals need consistently for long-term success. So we've been talking about relationship building and maintenance, which is one of 4 landscapes. The other ones are creating and leveraging new opportunities. Another one is attracting mentors and collaboration partners. That's for how do you get into those bigger rooms? How do you meet those bigger people? That's what that's about. And then the last landscape is the measurable action plan. So you're productive, not busy. So you know what is and is not working so you can manage your frustrations and remember to celebrate your successes. Because I don't know about you, but when things go the way I expect, that's what I expected.
Well, right. I expected that too, because I worked hard, so it should work. Next.
Right. So take that step back and go, I did it. So what it does is it actually measures people's natural instincts on how they like to connect. And one of my favorite examples is I did. This is not a sales pitch, but I did help a client hire a new office assistant using this.
Oh, nice.
And his question was, which one will sell best? And I'm like, it's not about if they can sell, it's how. Are they going to sell by, now, last time we talked, you had a grandbaby on the way. Is that grandbaby here? Where are the pictures? Or are they going to sell by saying, okay, now this is what you said you wanted, and we're trying to deliver that. Is this what has changed? Or, so what style are they going to sell in? How do they like to connect? And it's also a really great way to kind of see, where people tend to lean. So if they do have a frustration, it's probably because they're unaware. Like people who are foragers, they're very outgoing. They love the random. They're comfortable talking about themselves. They're comfortable talking to strangers. They're excited to connect, but sometimes they get too social and they miss the business. Or you have the people who are really strong farmers. They want the repetitive. They want the same 30 people in the room. They do a lot of nurturing. And then all of a sudden they find that they're not growing because they're spending all their time taking care of their flock. You okay? Right. And then you have your fishers who are always about the forward growth, the bigger rooms. They're not front facing people. They're going to be your CEOs, your managers, your drivers, your entrepreneurs. They're not going to be the person who call me 24/7, 365. I don't care. I'm available to you. That's not them. You have people who are really strong hunters. They get paralysis by analysis, where until they have guaranteed results, they're not going to try. And so I've actually bullied them. I bullied them, Erin.
Right. Well, and I love I love what you say about using this not only to understand yourself, but understand your team and who you're bringing on. Because I talked to someone earlier and she said, yeah, somebody told her I need a duplicate of me. And I said, no, you need a complement to you.
Yes.
The last thing most small businesses need is a duplicate of this founder and CEO.
Yes.
If you want nothing to get done.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Or you don't want someone like you who's going to constantly second guess you, question you, tell you you're making the wrong choices or whatever. Yes.
But do that, but do it from a place of my blind spots.
Yes. Yes.
And
you're
so
absolutely right.
Understanding those personality types. Allison, and I think about it, Allison would be that hunter. She's so organized and so orderly. And I don't, by your description, I'm probably negative. I mean, if there's a way to be negative on your assessment, I might have negative hunting.
But that's just the thing. There's no good or bad. There's just you. It's about finding your style so you can accomplish your goals, your objectives in your way. You do not have to change who you are to be good at this.
Well, and the other thing is other people aren't wrong for being their style.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So there's so many little things that it uncovers, and it's become this weird little crystal ball for me. Like, especially like if I know what they do for a living, I can go, oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I saw someone's by accident the other day. Was laying on my desk and I walked by it and I went, oh, they're going to struggle. Because
right.
But that's what it does, is it brings awareness. When you are aware, you have control. And then you can choose you can choose what skill you need to overcome that moment or in that environment, or, whatever the case may be. It's really about raising the awareness, which puts you in control, that high strategic view, take that pause, and then keep moving towards the goal, because the goal has multiple ways to get there. That's another challenge too, is sometimes people, they might be equally suited to go in any direction, but that doesn't help them know which direction to go.
Yes.
This might help them kind of go, okay, but I'm going to go this way.
Well, and that goes to my theme that I decided in January that I refuse to do the bang my head against the wall version of doing business.
Funny, I just literally said to someone today, why are you beating your head bloody next to the door?
What I mean, especially this year, and you're of my age, so you'll understand this. In the last 12 months, someone moved your cheese. Someone moved your cheese. Like a year, 18 months ago is not the market we were in. 12 months ago, it's not the market we're in now. If all you're doing is hitting the nail harder, the nail's gone. Like it is there. The cheese has been moved. And so if you're not able to adjust and adapt and change your strategy, and being, awareness is always, always, always the first step, instead of, as soon as I feel that clenchy feeling that I'm just banging my head against the wall, my next question is, okay, what if this were easy? What else should this look like?
Yeah.
In a world of infinite opportunities, what's the different option?
Right. Or why am I so insistent on this?
Why am I stuck here?
Why do I care what you think about me? You don't like me? Fine. I'll find someone who does, kind of an attitude. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And the other piece that goes with that, and I love, I say simplicity of your system, not because it's simple, but because it's easy to understand.
Yes, that's why I use landscape references, because everyone can get it.
We get it. Right. And it makes sense. Is also what's my work and what's not my work. What needs to be. Now, I have a slightly different way of looking at it. I'm like, if I'm rolling my eyes at it like a teenager at a task that has to happen, I shouldn't be the one doing it. It doesn't mean it doesn't have to happen. But if that's my reaction to it, give it to the person who's great at it.
Yep. No, you are absolutely right. That's why it's this. It is very, like I said, I did my own, and in doing my own, I realized I am a connector, but not a collector. I'm not collecting people just in case maybe someday if I connect with people, it's usually because I see a purpose, I see an opportunity, I see a reason, I see a resource. Some people are collectors, nothing wrong with that. But recognizing those differences helps manage your own frustrations, helps make you aware of it. And the best part is once you get really good at this, you start picking up on cues from others. So you can adjust your style.
Yes.
To invite them in, and you're not like me. Yeah. So yeah, I love this. I love what I do. It makes me so happy.
Just had that conversation with someone also that I can't tell you the last time I've worked with someone I didn't like, whether it was a networking person, connecting, interviewing my team, a client, like that just doesn't exist in my world anymore.
That's awesome. But then that's one of the beautiful advantages of being an entrepreneur, because you gravitate towards your people, they gravitate towards you. You're not an employee where you have to.
Right. I don't have
you get to.
But the other piece of that, and I could see like going back to understanding yourself and understanding and accepting others, is the abundance mindset. Like if the scarcity mindset is what keeps us saying yes to people that we should say no to. It keeps us beige, right? Nice in the middle where we're not offending anybody. Clearly, I'm not beige anymore. That's way past its time, right?
That's something that comes with age for women too, is we're just kind of like, you know what? I don't have time for you anymore. I'm too tired.
Oh my God, there's a whole podcast that I've been watching, things that they're over. It's two women. They're like, what are you over? Like, I don't have space for this anymore. And all I do is laugh. This is the most asinine thing and they're dead on, right? They're
so good.
Dead on. I'm over that.
I'm over it. Yeah.
Yes. So here's the thing. If people want to continue this conversation with you, and I highly, highly recommend they do, take your assessment, learn about themselves, learn how you can help them take that information and take everything they're doing to the next step. Yeah. Where do they find you? How do they find you?
Okay. Well, the easiest way is wendycaverly.com. My website is branded with me because I have a couple different businesses that offer different services, but what do they all have in common? wendycaverly.com. The assessment is right there. The general assessment is free to take. So if you're just curious to know how you fall or what is this crazy thing, there you go. Another great way is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my social media platform. It's where I am on it multiple times a day. That is usually where my new videos premiere and promote. And I do have a YouTube channel, which I really should pay more attention to.
Pay more attention to that.
I really should. I love to impart just little nuggets of wisdom. You know, something like one of my very most well-received videos ever is, here's the one thing you can say at a networking event that works every time. You just walk up to the person, you say, I already know you're amazing, so tell me everything else.
There you go.
And they do just that. They laugh, they smile, they relax, and they spill the beans.
Well, and it doesn't matter. It's about being interesting and connecting as a human.
And making it about them to start, because the goal, I mean, okay, so I'm giving away the coaching for free. So if you're listening or watching, pay attention. The goal of networking is the next conversation.
Yes.
So you do not have to tell them everything now. You're not closing a sale at those events. Even if it's a referral team, you didn't bring a contract with you. Your goal is to create a warm, fuzzy feeling so you can talk again. So take the pressure off yourself, take the pressure off of them, and just find out what makes them cool. That way you can at least vet whether or not you want to have another conversation with them. Yes. I mean, yes. Is this somebody that I think would be great to have a cup of coffee with? No. Okay. Well, now you know.
Now you know. Not a whole lot of time wasted. Yes. So
right.
wendycaverly.com. We will have all the links in the show notes. I highly recommend people reach out. I love your assessment and your approach to everything. Thank you for your energy, your insight, your information, all of the things. Thank you for spending some time with me.